There are shows with psychics,
And there are shows with doctors.
but there's no show like The Psychic and the Doc.
Your practical paranormal power unleashed.
This show synthesizes the talents of world-class medium Mark Anthony, the psychic lawyer, psychic explorer,
And street smart spiritualist, behavioral psychologist, Dr. Pat Baccili. All subjects are on the table and no topic is taboo. Inspiration, insight,
action, and fun as Mark Anthony connects callers with loved ones in spirit.
in tandem with Dr. Pat's fresh, no-nonsense, street smart, intuitive insights. And she is hilarious.
Extraordinary problems
Require extraordinary solutions, which may come from this side
or the other side. This is The Psychic.
and the doc. And it starts now.
Hey everybody, welcome to The Psychic and the Doc. I'm Dr. Pat. I'm joined by my esteemed colleague here. And you know, sometimes we're going to have to save some of the outtakes because I want you all to know about Mark and the humanitarian work that he does. Now, just during the show, you'll hear him mention a few things, but I just want to talk about this. You know, here's somebody that not only works with you all 24/7, author of best-selling books, award-winning across the board. However, even in the busyness of everything, he takes time out to really look at the depth and the breadth of what we consider to be near-death experiences, but also to help those that go through these experiences understand the best that they can, but to live an amazing life. Now, you're going to hear a lot more about that as we go forward. But the reason I bring it up is because I rarely, in the years that I've been doing this with Mark Anthony, the psychic explorer, and much more, we have not really talked about regrets. Today's show, the episode, is 2026 is the year of no regrets. No regrets. Can you imagine what that world would be like? Mark, it's the year of no regrets.
Dr. Pat, I can't think of a more poignant theme for this show or for any of our shows. Regrets. Wow. How many of you out there have regretted something, particularly when it comes to a loved one who has passed? And that's one of the benefits of spirit communication is oftentimes we're given that second chance to heal those regrets. And I don't know anyone who has gone through their life that doesn't regret something. I mean, there's people, oh, I have no regrets. Everybody regrets something. There comes a time in our lives when we're not patient. We say something cutting. We do something very self-centered that hurts another person emotionally or physically. We look back at that. I'd like to say I have no regrets, but I do. There's things in my younger years, in my childhood, that I did that if I had the perspective I have now, I wouldn't. But I think that's normal. And it's important to learn from our regrets, to learn from those behaviors. Dr. Pat, I remember reading some Buddhist philosophy that said there's no such thing as mistakes. There are, however, lessons. And the problem with lessons is that they get repeated until they are learned. What's your take on regrets and lessons versus mistakes?
I totally agree. I mean, you know, whether it's a Buddhist philosophy or many other philosophies, especially Christianity, if you look at the Christian pathway, especially now, the way their doctrine is being presented to people. I listened to Joyce Meyer the other day. People say to me, you listen to Joyce Meyer? I said, well, of course. I listen to everybody that's going to help me keep my head up, put a little pep in my step, and remind me of the truth. So Joyce was talking about this the other day. She is so funny. Now, that is somebody I'd like to get on the show. But regret is this, Mark. It is the thing that you can stop. See, you can stop it quickly, because what happens is it's an energy, and the energy is energy of disappointment. And the energy of disappointment will stop you from getting anywhere you want to get.
Yeah.
And disappointment then turns into inner complaining. Some people don't be like, Mark, let me tell you about the day, or, okay, my Harley. No. But inside, we're replaying the script, replaying it. And sometimes, Mark, it pops up when you just don't plan it. You could be doing the dishes and something going to pop in from your past, and you think, oh my gosh, I shouldn't have. Okay. So regrets brings in the shoulda word. And when you should have, if I can't even say, I got to be careful here. When you should all over yourself, folks, it's messy.
Yeah.
So my view is you can stop it in a minute and say, I'm feeling that. What am I here to learn about that? What did I do? Did I give my power over to somebody? Did I think I could control my mom's death? No, I couldn't. How about my stepmom? When she called me that day and she told me how she felt depressed. Should I have been able to analyze that better, just to see that that was her heart that was going to explode on her? No, I couldn't. No. And that's the most important thing for us to talk about today. It is the year to let go of disappointment, because if you're disappointed, you're not living in the world of possibilities. You're living in your past. That's my spiel on that.
Living in the past is a very common thing. It happens to all of us. I try to do the be here now and look towards the future, and unfortunately, I find myself now and again dwelling on irritating things, painful things, things I regret from the past.
Yeah.
And there's nothing we can do about that, but what we can do is learn from that and not repeat it.
Yeah.
If we lived each day as if it were our last and we treated everybody with that respect, the world would truly be a better place. But we're also realists, and things like that, it doesn't always happen. Now, for everybody who's listening, this is a call-in show, 1-800-930-2819. We are taking your calls. I'll be doing many readings for callers. And Dr. Pat, I love the way Dr. Pat is able to help people understand the full breadth of the messages that come through, because what she does as a behavioral psychologist and a street smart spiritualist is help people understand the metaphors and how these messages apply directly to their lives. So 1-800-930-2819.
I love this topic. I love this topic. Joyce was saying something the other day. Boy, she is her. Whew, she talks about how absolutely crazy she was, right? She is so blunt about who she is, who she was, and who she still is today. And one of the things I was struck by is she was so direct when she looked at the audience and she said, you can't get that minute back. And the more you think about it, you now have another minute that you've just wasted, that you can't get that minute back, thinking about the minute that you had 32 years ago.
Wow.
You can't get it back. Oh, now you're thinking about the minute that you had 32 years ago. And none of it you can get back. See, what's the lesson? The lesson is you can't get it back. Come to grips with whatever it was. You cannot change an event of the past. But when you take that next moment, that next step, that next word, are you going to complain? Are you going to really bitch about something? Is that what you're going to do? Are you going to really look at something and say, why couldn't they make that burger better? Bottom line with all that is It may not be the best burger, but give a minute. You know, I've studied with several indigenous people, my friend Monica and the Lakota traditions. And one of the things I've learned with her and Sidonia Cahill is before you put any food in your mouth, you give it back. See, if we would stop and we would just have a moment. There's a book that I laughed about when I got it, and I've talked about this book. It's called The Only Little Prayer You Need. Deb Engel wrote it. And you read the whole book, and you get to the part, and here's the prayer. When you know you're feeling that, God, whoever you believe in, God, universe, I'm going to say God tonight. God, please heal my disappointing thoughts. Please heal them now. Please heal my thoughts of regret. Please heal the fear, my fear-based thoughts. Please heal them. See, that took 11 seconds to say that. Changes everything.
It does. It does. Healing is part of resolving regret. Because regrets are injuries. They're injuries you've inflicted on other people, and now you feel the guilt, the shame, the remorse of that. And being able to resolve that. I think that's so important.
Yeah.
And, I see this, and we see this here on the show. People come through. I was doing readings at a gallery event at the Spirit Fest in Port St. Lucie, Florida last weekend. And there's this woman I called on, and she came up to the microphone, and her mother came through, and I could see that she was visibly angry. And she said, well, I really didn't want to hear from my mother. I wanted to talk to my father. Well, apparently her mother and she had an awful relationship, and she was getting annoyed that her father didn't come through, but she and her father had a great relationship. He didn't need to come through to communicate with her. It was her mother who came in to resolve these regrets. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting when people say, well, I don't want to talk to that spirit. And I always have to remind folks, yes, I'm a medium. Yes, spirits come to me, but I'm not a bouncer. Okay, this is not the cosmic version of Studio 54 where I'm standing there and for what I understand, if you weren't wearing the right clothes or you weren't
you got
chic enough,
kicked out.
You
got booted out faster. You didn't even make it to the door.
Not even. Yeah, it's funny when I hear stories of that. When we were getting ready for the show, Dr. Pat and I were talking about this week we lost a luminary. We lost Bob Ware, and Bob Ware was one of the founding members of the rock group the Grateful Dead. I don't think there's ever been, nor will there probably ever be, a group like the Grateful Dead. They had the most loyal fan base. They called them Deadheads. Yeah. And I've known a bunch of Deadheads in my life, and they're nice people, but they will follow the Grateful Dead around anywhere. In fact, when I was a college student, I was on this trip, this school, but it was a college trip. We were getting credits and studying in the Soviet Union and Eastern Europe and other places. And there's this one guy that was with us, and he had this little goatee and an afro, and he was like really cool and chic, and he was a Deadhead. And at that time, he said he'd probably seen them 100 times in concert. And I'm like, really? He goes, oh, yeah, man, it's really great. Well, it was funny because he was supposed to meet his wife to be. He was engaged and in Scotland, and they were and he heard about a Grateful Dead concert back in New York. And I'll never forget, she said to him, well, who do you care more about, the Grateful Dead or me?
Wrong
Needless
question.
to say, they didn't get married. I ran into him a year later. He goes, no, man, I had to see the Dead. And I think it probably worked out the best for both of them.
Yeah. That was never going to work. I mean, it's never going to work. Yeah. I mean, when you are in relationship with somebody and they have a passion and purpose for something, even in the entertainment arena, you got to find the middle ground with that. I mean, there has to be a place. Now, it's like a football fan having tickets to
Yes.
the Super Bowl. And you got to go to the Super Bowl. You got to come over here and have dinner. Oh, I'm going to Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's what you're going to
Well,
do.
yeah, it's the same type of fervor. And, with the Grateful Dead heads and the football fans and people that are enthusiasts, there's nothing wrong with that. It's good to have a passion, but,
Yeah.
when the passion starts dominating your life to
Oh,
where you lose, family and friends and things like that, then it goes from being a passion into a cult. But sticking with the Deadheads, I remember years ago, this had to be at least 25 years ago, there was a song, not by the Grateful Dead, by somebody else, where they said, I saw a Grateful Dead sticker on a Cadillac. And that was a radical shift, okay? And what that showed was the baby boomer, the generation of the 1960s had gotten older, and they were the establishment. And the Grateful Dead, they never incited people to violence. It was all peace, groovy.
no, no,
It
yeah.
was all about the music. It was
Yeah.
music, and it was about fun and peace and love. And so, if you're a Grateful Dead fan, you have made a positive imprint on the world, I
Yeah,
think.
exactly. Yeah, I have a question that came in. Linda wanted me to ask you a question. It's a really important one. It's about the topic today.
Certainly.
Um, because, and I'm just gonna, she shared this with me. I could share it. She has been, I don't know the right language. So you got to help me here. Let's say she's been visited by Joan, her mom. Now, what do I
Right.
mean by that? Not like visited, but Joan is in her head. And she keeps asking Joan, what do you want? Do you want me to do something? But it's this ongoing presence of her mom, Joan. And it's not just about, I mean, maybe since we've been back here, it's more prominent, but it's like this always with her in her head. Now, I don't mean 24/7, but it's like she's there. And I think many of us have had that. I've had that happen to me quite a bit. And I ask, what do you want? It's not bad behavior. Spirit's not doing anything, but they're there.
Right.
What do you do with that, Mark?
You go with it. Linda, the next time, and my belief is she is there. This is your mom's spirit. I call the spirits the electromagnetic soul. And you pick up on her because our brain has an EM field and spirits are EM energy and they align. So your mother is reaching out to you. And the message, Linda, that your mom has for you, it's simple, it's quirky, and it's very interesting. Your mother's message for you, Linda, is you can have your cake and you can eat it too. And I'm tasting angel food cake, that sponge cake.
Yeah.
So there's got to be something with sponge cake. Now I'm getting the strawberries on it. So this is like a strawberry shortcake that could reference February because I always equate February with strawberries because Valentine's Day, but it doesn't have to be February. It could be something else. But your mother is telling you, Linda, you can have your cake and eat it too, and you have earned that right. So, what your
Wow.
mom, I think, means by this, Linda, is you have gone through so much adversity and difficulty in your life. She says you've been dodging and ducking all types of punches and blows, not physically, it's more metaphorically. And you've put up with so much that you deserve to have your cake and eat it
Mm,
too. And so you're at the point in your life where it's okay to indulge yourself. It's okay to be satisfied with yourself. And I'm also getting the sense, Linda, that your mother wants you to know that you have her complete validation and approval. And the other thing I get is that Linda and her mom had a good relationship,
yeah.
but Linda still you have this need for an unspoken validation and you have it now. So ergo, you can have your cake and you have
Mm,
earned the right to eat it too. So Linda, if you could, let us know by a text or by coming on, because I know you're one of the producers, so you're
yeah.
listening, and let us know how that
Yeah.
resonates with you.
Yeah. Jessica, I don't know if Linda's been listening or picking up phones, but that's so beautiful the way you did that. And I love the importance of that because a lot of times when something like that happens, we could go real dark. We could go to fear on that. Like, my stepmom pops in my consciousness at very unexpected times, and I just see her beautiful face, right? Just very beautiful. I mean, beautiful face, beautiful energy. But then I will get a bit of wisdom that she shared that I need to hear in the moment. Lighten up. Life is too short. Lighten up. See, no regrets. And this is what we're talking about. There's an old verbiage about what regrets means. It's a sorrow. It's a deep sorrow. And that deep sorrow is what haunts you. It consumes you. But it's tricky, Mark. It's not like fear or the fear factor. And it's not even quite like doubt. It's a little bit more insidious than that. I consider regret a passive aggressive emotion. That's what I consider it. It's kind of like all the rest of them are bold and in your face, and regret, it just likes to hang out in the background. And it's like a background singer, like when the Supremes were doing their thing, it's like
Yeah.
the background singers. And it just hangs out in the background, and every once in a while you'll hear it. Ooh, baby, baby. Ooh, baby, baby. That's the background noise.
Yeah.
Don't you want to go back? Don't you want to fix that thing? Do you think you should have really poured blah, blah, blah in your sister's hair? I mean, we cannot alter the past, nor can we alter the energy of it, but we can alter our own energy, right? Of how we
Yes.
see it.
Yes. Um, I started watching, hold on, let me see if I can find yeah, there we go. There's a series I started watching on Netflix. It's entitled 11/22/63, and it stars the actor
Oh,
James Franco.
yeah.
And yeah, and it's a time travel. He goes back in time. There's this time portal, and he goes back 3 years before JFK is assassinated, and his focus is to live that 3 years and prevent John F. Kennedy, President Kennedy, from being
Mhm.
assassinated in Dallas. And what's really fascinating, of course, it was written by Stephen King, so it has a macabre, edge to it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, King doesn't write fluff.
No.
Um, and the thing is, it's what you just said, Dr. Pat. We can't go back to the past and change it because as he tries to change things, because there's people he knows, he knows them from when they were elderly and things that had happened in their childhood, in the area where he has gone back in time, that he's trying to change, and his good intentions turn out to have disastrous results. Now, I'm
Yeah.
only a couple episodes into it, but it's really fascinating to see that you go back in time to try to change things, and maybe you're going to make them worse. So that's why we can't go back to the past. Instead, we have to learn from the past to affect our present behavior to shape, hopefully, in a positive way, the future.
I love it. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, are there any things that you can think about? Mark and I will continue to really bring this forward. Anything that you want to bring forward, something you're holding on to that we can help you let go of. 2026 has been targeted in so many circles as the year of. And what people are saying is, first of all, metaphysically and from a numerology perspective, it's a 1 year. We just finishing up a 9 year. We now move from the year of the snake, which was all about shedding. And boy, did that, if I have to do any more shedding, I'm gonna vaporize. But this is a different year. It's the year of the fire horse. It's that thing that's just going to get you all fired up. Now, when we come back, we'll talk about those moments in time where you really think you could have done something different. I know for me, I thought if I'd only ... my mentor wouldn't have died. Let's take a short break, everybody. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Best Holistic Life magazine, where we believe in a holistic approach to living your best life. Today we are talking about the power of mindset. Your thoughts shape your reality, and a positive mindset can make all the difference in achieving your goals and living a fulfilling life. Our expert contributors are here to guide you with practical tips and techniques, from meditation and visualization to affirmations and gratitude practices. Transform your mindset and create a life of abundance with Best Holistic Life magazine. Subscribe to our app and follow us on social media for daily inspiration and guidance.
Tired of feeling exhausted as a parent? I would love to help you with a new vision for yourself that is focused on intentional wellness parenting. My name is Aurelie Cormier, and I have over 40 years experience with complex cancer patients. I offer consultations, coaching, and educational programs for parents who want to boost their health and reduce risk of disease, especially cancer. For more information, go to aureliecormier.com.
Luvology is where your body remembers what your soul never forgot. I work with men and women who are often at the edge of midlife, who are done with surface level living. People who've built the life but still feel numb, who ache for something deeper, more presence, more truth, more touch. We work with what's been silenced: desire, shame, grief, raw pleasure, and the truths your body has been whispering for years. Using ancient practices, modern science, and yummy, delicious sex tools that awaken rather than perform, we reclaim what it means to feel deeply and live turned on from the inside out. This isn't about fixing. This is about remembering. This is conscious hedonism, rooted, real, and alive. If your body's been asking for more, you are in the right place. This is Luvology. Want to go there? Book a compatibility call at gwenhamcarsley.com. Let's begin.
Yes, this is. And today, welcome everybody. This is welcome back to The Psychic and the Doc. I'm Dr. Pat Baccili. I'm the host of the Dr. Pat Show, founder of the Transformation Network, etc. And of course, relaunch of Unstuckable. Stay tuned for that. Now I'm here with my most amazing esteemed colleague who just travels everywhere. So he's encouraging me to get out now. Mark, before we do anything here, what are you up to? How do we stay with you? And you mentioned an event you were at. So give us an update. What are you up to?
Well, I have an event coming up, and it's an online event, so everybody can participate in it. It's on January 28th at 7 p.m. Eastern, just like this show, which would be 4 p.m. Pacific, and it's sponsored by the Omega Institute, a wonderful organization based in Rhinebeck, New York. And I'm giving a presentation entitled The NDE Zone, Connected by the Light from the Cosmic to the Subatomic. And this is part of my lecture series on the afterlife, near-death experiences, and spirit communication. And there will be Q&A after the presentation. So for tickets, please go to my website, which is afterlifefrequency.com. You can also find out about signing up for a reading on, a telephone reading. Also, you can find out about my books, The Afterlife Frequency, Evidence of Eternity, and Never Letting Go. You can find out about all of that at afterlifefrequency.com. Also, sign up for my newsletter, because that way it'll keep you up to date. We got other events coming up. Rocky is working on planning some more online light circles, and I will be doing quite a bit of traveling, but later in the year. Because we got a couple projects going on right now. And so if you sign up for my newsletter at afterlifefrequency.com, it'll keep you up to date.
Awesome. Now, we are 1-800-930-2819. So we're waiting for our callers. I think, Jessica, we do have somebody on the line, right? No, you're good. That's it. Now you're cooking. All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
So the first night I had called in, Dr. Psychic Mark, you were talking about a pink convertible Cadillac with my grandfather driving in Miami, Florida kind of setting.
Oh, yeah, that was like
Ironic,
a couple weeks ago or something like that, right?
yeah, like right around the holidays.
Yeah. Oh,
Well,
wasn't it?
I
He was driving the Cadillac in was it in South Beach, Miami that I got the vision?
yeah, and then like it all made sense from where he lived and everything. Well, ironically, Christmas morning my daughter opens a gift that someone gave me, and it's a pink Barbie convertible. And the back of the box that it was attached to was like the beach scene, like driving down the road. And
Wow,
all
who
I
gave
thought of
that to
was
you?
what you said.
Who get who
A
gave that to you,
friend of
Amanda?
mine.
Oh my gosh. All
A
right, there
friend of
you
mine.
go.
It was the
Wow.
freakiest thing.
Wow. Mark, what does that mean? Let's have a minute with that, because that's really not coincidence anymore.
No, that's what I've termed spiritual synchronicity. Also, this is two example of two different phenomena that I've identified. Spiritual synchronicity, in other words, there's no coincidences. Secondly, this is what's known as a multiple meaning message. And during spirit communication, spirits will transmit information to me, or rather to the recipient through me, and one message can have more than one level of significance. So when I believe is your father transmitted driving around in
Grandfather.
grandfather, I'm sorry, grandfather in a convertible Cadillac in South Beach, Miami, where all the Art Deco is and architecture, and it's very very hip and cool. So that was something that made sense to you that he used to live there or drive there. So there was one way that the message made sense, and then the other way was that he gave a glimpse of a future event that at the time of the reading what you just described hadn't happened, and then when you saw it, it did. And so that's why it's a multiple meaning message. You see, spirits are capable of perceiving future events, and I can get into the technical explanation, but that's why a number of times during readings, things will come through which don't make sense because they haven't happened yet. And I get emails from people pretty much every day that I've done readings for, and they said, well, during the reading, this didn't make sense, and then it did when it happened. So, Amanda, I can't thank you enough for calling in and describing the spiritual synchronicity and the multiple meaning message that we received from your grandfather. How cool
Yeah,
is
thank
that?
you. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you so much.
You're
Wow.
welcome. All I thought was, wait a minute. Pink convertible. The back, like the box, was beachy, and I'm just like, Mom, Lily, that's great grandpa coming through. Like, what just happened? Like, it's sitting right in my hand. Like,
Oh
it
my
was.
God, it's amazing.
That's great. I
It's
And
love
he
it.
used to
amazing.
live on South Hutchinson Island in Fort Pierce, where I was living with him before he
Wow.
passed away. So that's where the South
Wow.
Beach comes from.
Yeah, yeah, that's a really beautiful part of Florida.
It is.
So yeah, and it's really nice that you were there with your grandfather to help him transition. He's very grateful that you did that, and he keeps telling you, he stop, forget to taking out the trash. What is up with the trash? I know we were talking about that earlier. We were joking about
That was
that.
my job.
That was, yeah, but your grandfather says take out the trash. Was he one of these people that was kind of like real obsessed or insistent that don't leave garbage in the house, you got to get it out? He said, got to take out the trash.
Yes, and he worked at the McDonald's in Fort Pierce, not too far on North Kings Highway, where there's Winn-Dixie. He worked there doing maintenance. So my grandmother
Oh,
passed away, so that might be where the garbage is coming through.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, Dr. Pat, this is, I believe, an opening for you. When someone is told to take out the trash, perhaps this too is a multiple meaning message. What do you think this might mean?
I think so, Amanda, for you, I mean, honestly, you have been doing really super well. I mean, you call into the show, we've been able to get an update on your progress, things going on, and you're just bursting with optimism. And what I love about it is how you put all the dots together. my sense is that you've been taking out a lot of trash yourself last year. And you know what I mean by that? It's just been getting rid of things that are in your mind or your doubt or your fear. And that was last year for you. Without going into a lot of it, you let go of a lot of things. So that you did your own did your own little garbage dumping. I think for this now where you are is, see, there's this sense now that we have taken things away that don't serve us. But remember what garbage is. Garbage is the result of things we've had, things we've used, right? You understand that unless you have a job where you're taking garbage out for other people, it is a collection of your past. What you ate yesterday, maybe the pair of sneakers that don't fit you anymore. I mean, I had to let go of my, oh my gosh, my espresso maker blew up, but I enjoyed it while I had it. So that's what I want you to think about. Anything you're hanging on to from last year, like that horrible boss and stuff like that, just give him a little kiss goodbye. I don't mean physically. Don't be going kissing nobody, but you understand what I mean. Just blow him a nice little kiss and move on for your life because you have an amazing future. Okay, Amanda?
Okay, and I was calling in because I had a question, but I wanted to connect you guys with that story with the pink Bobby car.
What's your question?
I'm wondering if you guys could, I'm sure you guys could figure it out and have the answers. The guy that I'm supposed to be with, ironically, his job, I'm gonna have to pass going to the new job. I have not heard from him since Thanksgiving. He's just gone silent.
Okay, I'm going to answer that for you. Because Mark will see if you'll get a message from the other side. So let me make sure, Amanda, I got this right. You ready? I don't want to I don't want to mess this up. So there's a guy that you're interested in and have been dating, so to speak. Is that correct?
Yes.
But you haven't heard from him since what month?
Since November. Literally, it was Black Friday when he kind of just went with a weird contact.
Okay. So what do you want to do with that? I mean, this is a great take out the garbage story. Just saying.
That's what I'm wondering.
You're wondering about it? Come on now. You're wondering about it?
It's not like him to go like this with silent unless like say something between us happened, but nothing happened to my knowledge.
Okay.
Everything was fine.
Okay. Are you aware of his awareness? Meaning, do you know if he's alive, any of that, or is he just ghosting you completely?
Just ghosting. I was where we used to work last night, like shopping, and I was like, "Oh, have you seen him?" And they're like, "No, da da da." I was like, "I know he was trying to leave our old job because same experience I was going through." And then a place we used to go out to eat, I happened to be there with my daughter and a visit for her father, and I asked the manager that knew me from going there. I was like, "Have you seen the guy that used to come in?" And she's like, "I haven't seen him," according to her.
So look, this is an area of concern. I'm going to give you two different answers. In this particular situation, if you are concerned and worried about him, I mean, this is a long time, November to now, but if you're worried about him, are there family and friends that you know that you can reach out to find out? And I don't mean reach out and track him down, no, but reach out and find out. If there's no one like that for you, then this really is something you're going to have to let go of.
Okay. I mean, there's only one other place that's a public place other than where he looks like before I go to my job, but I don't want to walk in there because the mom and sister work there.
Yeah.
So by the time I get to where he works in the grocery store out of town, they would already know and probably already fly over to his department.
Everything about this, Mark, what do you think? Everything about this to me says you need to put it behind you and just see what shows up.
Yeah, I never like to tell anyone to break off a relationship, but I'm just going to go back to the last message that your grandfather gave you, which Dr. Pat echoed, time to take out the trash. Because, maybe he does care about you, but in my experience, when someone cares about you, they contact you in under almost 3 months.
Close to that. I'm
Yeah.
wondering if my daughter's father was hearing the things that were happening and he kind of took care of it. Kind of like my grandfather coming through to him, like, hey, I'm not there to handle the situation.
No, no,
I
no,
don't
no,
know
no,
if
no, no, no.
No,
You're
no.
you're you're going way off base.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
stick to
yeah.
the message. This guy
Okay.
hasn't contacted you in 3 months. If a friend of
Okay.
yours came up to you and said, "Oh, there's this guy I really like, and he hasn't talked to me in 3 months," what would your advice be to him, Amanda? Be to her.
What would your advice be to your friend?
Hey,
Something strange. Did something happen to lead to it? He might not know how to say he doesn't want the relationship. Something's going on. Give him space.
Yeah. So
Not that
here's
the
what I'm going
person
to
would
say
want
to
to
you
hear
about
that.
that. Yeah, that is what we call regret chatter. You did nothing wrong. You're not going to
Okay.
be able to change what he does. So you need to really find a way to move on. And don't tell yourself any more stories about him because you're not going to know. And anything short of walking up to his mom or sister and saying, I'm worried about Tom or whatever his name is. I'm worried about Tom.
Mike.
I don't want to contact him. Is Tom okay? Anything short of that, you have to stop playing the story in your head, okay?
Okay.
Got it?
Got it. Just let it
Okay.
go and
Let it go.
go with
Let
the
it
flow.
go and go with the flow. That's it. Now you're talking. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you. Thank you so much. Boy, I could take a lesson from that page book right now. Ah, Jessica, who else do we have?
Sure, absolutely. Let's go to Melissa from Michigan. Melissa, you are on with the Psychic in the Dock.
Hi, Melissa. How can we help you tonight?
Good evening. How are you?
Awesome. How are you? What can we do for you?
Good. Well, I wanted to see if you could, if there's a message from my brother that passed away almost 3 years ago, or maybe my father.
Um, Melissa, is your mother still on planet Earth or is she in spirit?
Nope, she actually moved here from Florida
That's a yes. She's on
in
planet
June.
Earth. Okay. I'm
Yep.
sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off because I'm getting all this stuff about your mother, and it's interesting because you want to talk to your dad and your brother. So they want to talk real quick about your mother, and they keep telling me, and I'm getting like I can feel like I'm out of breath, out of breath, out of breath. So something may be going on with her where she's experiencing shortness of breath. Have you noticed anything like that? Like maybe she's getting fatigued or she's having a hard time catching her breath?
She does have congestive heart failure and a pacemaker, so absolutely. She has a very hard
Okay.
time walking.
Okay. So that means they're around and they're aware of what's happening. Is she living with you or staying with you?
Nope, she lives 1 mile away from me.
Okay, because they talk about you providing a feather bed for her. Okay, now I know that sounds weird. A feather bed. So I think what that
No,
means
don't know
is,
about that.
does a feather bed make sense? Because I think I know what it means.
Nope, doesn't make sense.
Okay, a feather bed in this context, I believe, means that you're providing a cushion for her, like an emotional support cushion, being 1 mile away, and that's a good thing. All right. And the male energy that is stepping forward to communicate with me, he feels like he may be on your generational level, so that could indicate this might be your brother. and I'm getting this massive impact sensation to my head. Now, a massive impact sensation could be head trauma, but it could also be some other issue with his head or with his brain. However, when I get impact to my head, that can also mean an abrupt or unexpected passing. I'm tasting a lot of blood. That doesn't always mean a bleed out. That could be an internal hemorrhage, or there could have been some other issue with his blood. And now my kidneys are hurting really bad. Now, the kidneys are located just above the hips, so it could be an issue with the hips, but I'm really getting this kidney involvement. Does any of that make sense to either your brother or your dad?
Well, my brother died of a massive heart attack, and my dad committed suicide with a 12-gauge shotgun.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure we're dealing with your dad that does, and your brother is here as well. Let's see. Um, wow. When I say wow, your dad he's connecting to me, and as Dr. Pat will underscore, it doesn't take a psychic or a doc to tell you that somebody who dies by suicide is depressed. But he's telling me he's going into his thought processes prior to passing, and I get this complete distorted sense of reality. It's like if you turn on a television screen, it's all staticky. Something was going on with him that was more than depression. It's like he was completely losing his ability for rational thought. And I'm also getting I'm salivating. Something else was going on with him. I'm not sure exactly what the salivating is indicating, but I also feel my body riddled with pain, particularly in the lower groin areas, and there we go back into the kidneys. Do you know if your father had some type of severe mental illness, or was he have a terminal or some type of chronic condition? Because I am feeling physical pain throughout my entire body.
He did have prostate cancer.
That's the groin, okay? That's the groin, and obviously it metastasized and it got into his kidneys as well. And your father keeps saying, "Forgive me, forgive me, forgive me." He knows that now as a spirit, he knows how his taking his life affected everyone. But this poor guy, let me tell you something. It's like I feel like my whole lower body is on fire. He was so in such physical distress. He said I had to take matters into my own hands. Now, your brother's stepping in, and was there some issue with your brother or his feet? Did he need corrective shoes or orthotics? Because the shoes that he's showing me, they look like those large shoes where you have to put in inserts or orthotics in. Unless he's talking about someone else
Nope.
connected to him or you. Go ahead.
Nope. He was a ophthalmologist. So he used to run when he was younger.
Okay. Is there someone else connected to you or him or your dad or your mom that has an issue with their feet?
My mom has neuropathy, so she doesn't have a lot of feeling in her feet.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know if she has to wear any type of like those Dr. Scholl's, inserts that kind of cushion your feet? And before you say no, 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 that may be something that needs to be done. So that's something.
Okay.
Oh, remember they said feather bedding and providing a cushion? That may indicate your mom may need some type of orthotics which provide a cushion for her feet. That may be what they're talking about.
Huh. Okay.
Okay. Are you her healthcare provider? I mean, not her healthcare provider, but do you work with her and her healthcare providers on her treatment?
Yes.
Okay, that's something that needs to be addressed. That's something that needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
Oh, and your dad just put in front of me a can of Carling Black Label beer. Now that's an interesting, that's very specific. Carling Black Label. Now maybe he drank beer, or maybe he didn't, or maybe he hated beer because, dislikes are just as important as likes. Also could be a name like Carl or Charles, because Carl or Carl. But I'm getting this, was it Carlington Black Label beer?
Nope, he wasn't a drinker. Now, if you would have said Captain Black Tobacco, he used to smoke a pipe.
Now, I don't want to stretch to make it fit. You need to expand that, because when a spirit gives us information, it isn't always about the spirit. It could be somebody else connected, you or him. I'm getting Carling Black Label, and they could be talking about somebody here in this world. Since we're almost out of time, let's hold position right there. Dr. Pat, what's your take on this?
I want to go back to your mom. Neuropathy is excruciatingly painful, depending upon the degree. And I want to go back to that and literally reiterate what Mark said. Is anybody helping your mom with that? Or are they just kind of blowing her off?
She just moved up here, so she just started going to my family doctor. So we are in the process of taking care of all of that, yes.
Okay. There are a lot of things out in the market now to help with that. And it is, neuropathy is not pleasant no matter how you look at it. But definitely when it happens in the feet, it really immobilizes people. So yes, I think you got the message. That's a priority right there. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much. Wow. Thank you. Wow. Great show, Mark.
Yeah. And for everybody listening, learn from the past regrets so that you don't repeat them, because if you can leave this world or leave any relationship with no regrets, you're ahead of the curve.
Yeah. And that's really our theme for today, everyone. And the reason we picked this theme is because Mark and I, we've been listening and we've been leaning into how you all have been feeling. And a lot of the questions, a lot of your concerns really hover the love that you have for those that have passed, the unanswered questions, the things you wish you could have done or wish you knew. And I think that from us, this year for us is going to be able to bring you more opportunity for you to explore that love exponentially, but in a new way, in a way that allows you to be free, spirit to be free, and for you to take a different perspective on life. That's it, Mark. What do you think?
I couldn't agree more. And for all of our listeners, the Psychic and the Doc will be back next Thursday. We will be taking your calls. And for everyone, welcome to 2026. Let's make this a year of no regrets.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for tuning into the Psychic and the Doc with Mark Anthony and me, Dr. Pat Baccili, right here on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Hey, look, come back next week so we can explore with you more of life's many challenges and learn from fascinating guests. And you know what? Even Mark and me. We'll connect you and discover insights from people in this life and from the afterlife. Extraordinary problems? Yeah, they do. They require extraordinary solutions. But step into the world of possibilities with us on the Psychic and the Doc. That's every Thursday, 4 p.m. Pacific Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on TransformationTalkRadio.com. That's TransformationTalkRadio.com. And don't forget, we're also live face-to-face on Facebook.com, Transformation Talk Radio.